in order to be successful as a broadcaster in Detroit, whether you're doing morning radio, any type of radio, or TV, or podcasting, you have to take it into your arms and hold it tight like you would a teddy bear and love it. You know, I really mean that. I honestly think that the chemistry on our show is insane. I think it's great. Even on a not so good day, it's still damn good. I love working with Lauren. I love working with Veronica. They're good people. They prep their butts off, show up on time. They have a great attitude. We're always looking for ways that we can reach more audience, more listeners, and also to make a good connection. Walter, can you be the bassist? At first, Walter's kind of like, I don't really want to be the bass. I mean, you're trying to be polite and trying to say no. I'm like, dude, it's just the root note. How hard can it be? Just find the root note and just play it. I don't care. Just give me some damn foundation over here. Guess who the bassist is now? Me.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Walter Hooper, host of Marketing Minds Meet, and we are back again for another installation of the show. We're at the Knot co-working space in Grosse Pointe Park, Michigan, in their wonderfully designed and built conference room. And this episode of Marketing Minds Meet, I'm going to tell you something right now. This is probably going to be one of the... All the shows are important, but this one in particular has a very, very special place in the catalog here, because I am here with an individual that I have known for the last, I tried to do the math, for the last 10 to 11 years. Yes, it's been that long, and it's insane just how much time flies and how fast time flies, I should say. And this is an individual that I was an intern at 96.3 WDVD radio station, and for the Blaine Fowler morning show at that point in time. Oh, actually, it was Blaine and
Yep, no one remembers.
Blaine and Allison. Oh, yeah. And then fast forward to present day now, the co-host of the Blaine and Lauren show. But I have the head persona here of the Blaine and Lauren, Mr. Blaine Fowler.
Hello,
What's
Walter.
going on, man?
How are you?
How have you been, man?
I'm great, man. Fantastic.
All right. Well, I got to say, so again, I've known this individual for 10 to 11 years, and this is someone who, over the years, has not only just become, I find, as a mentor, but also a good friend. We've had many chats regarding just life, career. He's given, instilled lots of wisdom, but I want to draw the attention here to you, Sir Blaine, because I want people to know, more if they already don't. But for those that might be living under a rock, who you are and your journey in the broadcast and radio DJ hemisphere.
Okay, well, I'm Blaine Fowler from Blaine And Lauren on 96.3 WDVD. I've been at 96.3 WDVD since November 10th of 2003 doing mornings. And during that time, I have worked with a number of different people. Most recently, the team consists of Lauren Crocker, Veronica Rates, and myself. Lauren's been my partner in crime since about this time of the year, 2015. And I love working at DVD, love doing mornings. I'm constantly tired. My schedule is dictated by how tired am I. You know that. Like, hey, we want to go to a concert. Yeah, it's a school night. I'm not doing that.
True.
We save. We saw Extreme together. We saw the
great show, by the way.
Jason Bonham, Led Zeppelin evening together.
Another phenomenal.
And I don't think that was on a school night, but that was. But yeah. And of course, we have our own band, and you have your band. We've got the BFE, the Blaine Fowler Experience. Walter's been a member for almost, I would say, about 10 years, right?
Yeah. Well, we'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But yeah, I've been doing radio since I was 14, and I'm 56. So Do the math. I don't know how long that is. 42 years.
Well, a seasoned professional, as I say.
Seasoned, yes.
A seasoned experience.
Overly seasoned.
No, see, just like with cooking and my grilling, like seasoning makes the meal, in my humble opinion.
Okay.
But so let's rewind the clock to what inspired you to want to get into radio and broadcast. What was that aha moment for you?
I mean, honestly, Walter, it's my love of music. I was going to educate the masses on what good music is because I didn't like the crap I was hearing on the radio. But then I realized that the crap that they were playing on the radio is really popular, and I was the oddball, right? So in my hometown in Sault Ste. Marie, I was like 14. I'd done a week summer camp at Michigan Tech, and one of the classes you could take was radio. So in this class, you got to write a commercial, sell a commercial, produce it. You got to do a little on air on an FM station, on an AM talk station. So you got a little bit of everything. I won the award for best commercial that week. And I took it to one of our local radio stations in the Sioux, and I'm like, you guys should hire me. I won an award. And I think they first were kind of like, get the hell out of here. And then I came back. And then the great thing is my radio career, this would happen many, many times over the next 40 whatever years. The station got sold. So I'm working at this radio station part-time. It gets sold. And the new guy who owns the radio station, the only person he hired from the old crew was me. So, and he took me under his wing and really taught me radio. And like at this point, like I said, I'm in high school. I'm a kid. And I got a great education. Like we would go for a ride in his car and he would punch up different stations in town. He's like, he'd go from us to this other station, us to another station. What do you notice? I'm like, we're louder. He goes, yeah, psychological advantage. Like little things like that, I never would have. No, they don't teach that in broadcast school. They don't teach that anywhere. You learn that from somebody who actually does it. And he was at the time like 30 years old. He bought that radio station for just under $1 million, sold it a few years later for $3 million.
Wow.
Back in the 80s when $3 million was, I mean, still a lot of money, but, you know, that was huge.
Yeah, that is.
His name is Del Reynolds, by the way.
Shout out to Del.
Shout out to Del. Love Del. Big fan.
Yeah, and you know, what's interesting is, you know, so you mentioned, okay, there's a method, there's a science behind, okay, so you guys were louder. So, you know, being able to cater to an audience, being able to capture an audience, because much like with, you know, what we're even kind of like what we're doing here today, you know, even though this is audio and video, you know, primarily most people when they think of podcasts, they think of listening. Mm-hmm. So being able to capture and to get people to gravitate to what they're listening to like right away. And, you know, back then, you know, it was, you know, for what you were doing, you know, and to be able to have that wisdom and to have that insight, you know, kind of the secret sauce, I guess, at that time to kind of be known to you, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know?
And I'm like, you know, 14, 15 years old when I'm learning all this stuff. So these things are ingrained, you know, in the back of my mind. You know, you'll notice certain things. Like when you learn things like that, it's a psychological advantage that a lot of people don't even think of. People always complain on TV, why are the commercials so loud compared to the show that you're watching? Well, there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
They're trying to get it to pop.
Yeah, yeah, you know.
And they had to create a law to stop TV stations from doing that. They still do it, but that's a thing. It became a thing. It was so obvious that what they were doing is they were cranking up the volume of the commercials compared to whatever show you were watching. It's weird.
Yeah, it's a form of marketing. Yes.
Boom. He's right. Pay attention. Take notes.
Oh yeah, I appreciate that. So you start this journey now. For you, let's fast forward to how did you become ingrained with Detroit and being an on-air personality here in downtown in the D.
I mean, if you're going to do this, if you're going to be on the radio in Detroit, I think more so than a lot of towns, you need to immerse yourself in Detroit, become one with Detroit. You are constantly pulling for the Lions, yet constantly disappointed until recently. Red Wings, Pistons, all that stuff. What's happening around town? City files for bankruptcy like 10, 12 years ago. Is it over? Is this town dead? And I mean, I did not grow up in Detroit. I grew up in the Sioux, and I lived in Wisconsin for a while, and I lived in Minnesota. But I get Detroit, and I consider myself a Detroiter, even though I don't actually live in Detroit. I work in Detroit in the Fisher Building, and I love this town, and I love its story, and it's such a cool place. The architecture in this town is unique. It's special. The history of this town is imperfect and perfect at the same time. And there's a lot of warts, but there's a lot of really pretty things about it too. So I think in order to be successful as a broadcaster in Detroit, whether you're doing morning radio, any type of radio, or TV, or podcasting, you have to take it into your arms and hold it tight like you would a teddy bear and love it. You know, I really mean that. It's like, I think this is a great place.
And you touched on something too, I think, to expound upon, the idea of, it's perfect, but yet also imperfect. Like, it's got the imperfections stand out, but also too, what's also really beautiful about it also truly stands out. I've had the privilege to be able to travel throughout the U.S. as far as California and Arizona and the Southwest, and it's got its own thing, but there's something about the city of Detroit, the area, where it's got a resilience, it's got a tenacity to it that I have not seen in any other area I visited or been kind of ingrained in for a short period of time.
It's like those T-shirts. Detroit hustles harder, primarily because we have to. But also, this is a town that's been defeated a million times, yet picks itself up and keeps trying. And it's awesome.
Mm-hmm. And I think too, it's the defeats were they sucked. Like
right. I mean, you name a subject, and Detroit's felt it. The race riots of the late '60s. The sports. The 0-16 season of the Lions.
Oh, I remember that.
Right? And but yet they will fill Ford Field every week, regardless. I mean, right now we're really, basking in the beautiful, what will hopefully be a great run this season. But and the Red Wings, the Red Wings haven't been in the playoffs for like 8-9 years. The Pistons are horrible.
Oh, yeah.
The Tigers keep giving us hope. Maybe it's false hope, but you know what? But we still go, and I think that's sort of symbolic of the town. We don't quit.
Yeah, no, that is true. I 1,000% can concur with that. Absolutely.
Can confirm.
Yeah, definitely can confirm. So let's go to crossing paths at the radio station. So for those that are unaware, I was an intern over at 96.3, and I worked on Blaine's show, and just being able to get to know this individual. First right off the bat, he and still very much is, he runs a tight ship. He definitely runs a tight ship.
I don't know about that.
But there's a reason why, because there's a method, there is a strategy, that's been used and that's worked for all these years. So, being able to, be in that and be part of that, as a, 20-something-year-old, college intern, and being able to just get right into it right away. You would talk about, things that they don't teach you in school. Yeah, they don't teach you, that, show prep. They don't teach you that, okay, you got to get sponsors ready in the morning. You got to get, if anything and all else, you got to get those ready, because that's who pays the bills. That's the one that keeps those lights on in that building. But not many people know that. They just hear, hey, Blaine Fowler and Lauren Crocker with, Blaine And Lauren, and they hear, the finished product. You don't know what goes on behind the scenes. And it really opened my eyes to the broadcast industry, being a journalism major, because I was a journalism major in college.
Right.
And then it was really our love of music, and Blaine discovering that I had a band, and he listened to my band's EP. Yes, our EP.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I remember I was like, oh my God, like, oh please, like I hope he doesn't hate this, because if he does, I'm not gonna have a job.
It was cool. What was it called? Before the
Press.
That's it. Yep. Yep. I remember that.
Yes, Before the Press. Yep, that's
Before the Press.
Yes, and then you offered me a fill-in gig to play bass.
Right.
For your band. And I was.
Here's Walter.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm like, Ron, the bass player, he's got this job, takes him to China like every couple of months, and he doesn't know how long he's going to be there. I'm like, this is getting annoying. I need a bass player. Walter, can you be the bassist? At first, Walter's kind of like, I don't really want to be the bass. I mean, you're trying to be polite and trying to say no. I'm like, dude, it's just the root note. How hard can it be? Just find the root note and just play it. I don't care. Just give me some damn foundation over here. Guess who the bassist is now? Me. Because here's the other thing that Walter's not going to tell you, but I'm telling you right now, Walter's an extremely good guitar player, and he's considerably better at it than I am. So it made a lot more sense. Well, eventually Ron left. And I moved to bass. Walter became the lead guitarist, and the rest is history.
Oh well, thank you. Yeah. That was a shock in and of itself.
But I do miss playing guitar in the band once in a while. I was thinking about that next gig we should do a song where we switch.
A switch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not opposed to that.
Okay.
It is
something easy though.
Something easy.
I'm not doing the solo to Panama. I don't know that one.
Oh, that's too funny.
This has digressed horribly. Walter's regretting his decision.
Oh no. This is why we're here, because this is real. We're getting to know.
Yeah.
We're getting to know you. Yeah, we're getting. But so again, being able to see that, to see what happens there in the station, and then to really be able to hear the ins and outs of broadcast, really was it was an experience I'll never forget, and I will forever cherish. And,
really?
Yeah.
Oh,
absolutely.
That's great.
Yeah. Because it was your former producer Steve who hired me in.
Okay.
Yeah, so being able to work with him and kind of hear his take on things, and then see you and the other personalities work, and it was very, very like I said, it was very eye-opening. It gave me a lot deeper and greater perspective and just overall respect for what you do.
Well, when you talk about marketing, right? It's the same thing. It's like, this is the same, I think, kind of underlying theme to successful businesses, successful people, wherever. Preparation is key. Like you were talking about show prep, and how some people approach show prep is to just show up the minute the show starts and whip open whatever website is there or whatever. Or think about it nonstop all day, all night, so that you're ready. And I think a lot of the people who watch this or listen to this are probably thinking about their business a lot, and how can I get more feet through the door, whatever. And that's what all successful shows do. We prep, and then we prep some more, and we fine tune and we tweak. And then the tricky part is, all right, now you've done all this preparation, now be loose.
Yeah, right.
Be loose and be carefree, and don't worry about it. And don't worry if it goes too long, or if it's too short, or if it's not, you know what I mean? All that stuff. That is it's a little bit of science, and it's a little bit of art.
Yeah.
Because it is a performance to a certain degree, but you're also being yourself, and you're performing as yourself. And sometimes, let's be honest, we're not all perfect, and we're not all always funny. So you have to kind of just not worry about it, yet worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about performance. It's you're putting on a persona for people, and it's not meant to be a negative connotation. It's people hear you, and then if they see you online too, through show clips and what have you, which we'll get to in a moment, they're seeing this persona, they're seeing this individual, that's embodying, what the show is. Like, you are you're a brand. You're a brand, and so therefore, how do you keep things on brand, but also at the same time, the science too is, like you said, being able to adapt with changes. So let's get into then the marketing aspect of it, because a lot of it has to do with marketing. So for you guys at the station, where have you seen your biggest marketing successes? Has it been through social media? Has it been with snail mail? Has it been through email blasts? Or what's worked, and then what do you notice is kind of fizzling out or maybe needs some improvement?
I cannot remember a time or the last time that ours or any radio station has done an actual snail mail campaign. I can't remember that. Now, I do know that once upon a time that was a really effective tool. The thing that stands out to me over the past, let's say, year, anything that we've done regarding Taylor Swift. She's
course.
Literally, you can't miss. You cannot miss with the Taylor Swift promotion. So whenever we've done anything remotely attached to Taylor Swift, and usually when we do a promotion or any kind of, big contesting, it's on air, social media, and wherever else. And that's really kind of where we concentrate. I mean, we self-promote. We're a radio station. We've got close to 1 million listeners a week. We might as well use that. Don't forget to listen later today. Dave Fuller's got yada, yada, yada. Listen later tomorrow. Blaine and Lauren have yada, yada, yada. And also for us, I think the marketing and the performance are somehow, they're intermingled. You can't really separate the two. So marketing for us is partly doing the show that we do and doing it the way we do it, and keeping those appointments with our audience. Every morning at 7:35, $1,000 minute. People love that game with the heat of 1,000 suns. Brighter Than Blaine is the same thing. Lauren's hit list. Love letters to Lauren, these recurring features that we do. So you find things that are hooks or benchmarks or whatever you want to call it, and people will gravitate to them. But yeah, if anything, I don't think we do enough. I don't think we utilize social media enough, and we need to be better.
Really?
Yeah, I think we could be better at that.
See, it's interesting because I see you guys, because I follow you on Instagram and Facebook and all that. So I see things and I see what you're doing, but it's interesting to hear that maybe you think that.
Well, from this standpoint, Walter, it's free.
Yeah.
It's free. It's free to post something on Instagram or Facebook or whatever platform you choose. We should do more. People want content. I was listening to a podcast recently where they talked about how it's things have kind of changed. It used to be, nah, man, you got to make it really, really good, and maybe that means you only do one episode a week or whatever. And then this other person said, yeah, but it seems like now it's more about how often do you post, how much content do you put out there, whether it's great or not. As long as it's consistent with what you normally would do or what's expected, listener expectation or brand expectation in this case, is it consistent with that? Then good, post it. And post more of it.
And see, that's interesting too, because my philosophy on all that is there's a fine line. It's posting enough where people are engaging with it and seeing it, but also you don't want to post so much that you become obnoxious and then people will unfollow you or turn off the notification.
For 30 days, yeah.
Or if it's,
I agree.
It's interesting. I heard someone not that long ago. They were telling me, they said, if I look at someone, meaning like a business or entrepreneur's business profile, and they don't see anything posted for like months on end, then they're going to assume that entity that no longer exists. So that's why, like, I always encourage people to, like, even if you can't find like anything to post like on your feed and your timeline, we have stories now. The stories, I love posting on. You see my stories on my personal and my professional. Like, I love posting stories because that isn't nearly as. It's not as intrusive.
You know what it is?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm here. How you doing?
Yeah, and
it's a hello. That's what it is.
And not only that, but also, unlike with a post, like you're scrolling through, like you pretty much you have no choice. Like, right. I mean, you always have a choice, but when you're there in that moment, like it's there they are again. But but with a story, you look at that and go, oh, someone posted a story. Okay, cool. Then so it kind of gives that indirect consent of, hey, like I posted something, but check it out if you want, but you don't have to
without using the words.
Right
Exactly. But let's do that. Let's all start doing that. No,
please don't. Okay, so now the future let's talk about the future of the station here and your show.
Sorry, I had to crack my knuckles.
It's all good. Things are really, really escalating for you guys. I've noticed there's a certain vibe or energy in the air, as the kids say, that I see from afar. Being around you and Lauren and Veronica and others at the station. Whenever we do cross paths, for shows and what have you, there's something magical there. I think than even. There was magic there too when I was there, but it was a different kind of a magic.
Yeah, I honestly think that the chemistry on our show is insane. I think it's great. Even on a not so good day, it's still damn good. I love our chemistry. I love working with Lauren. I love working with Veronica. They're good people. They prep their butts off. They show up on time. They have a great attitude. We're always looking for ways that we can help our clients. We're always looking for ways that we can reach more audience, more listeners, and also to make a good connection. And it's funny because you can talk about all that stuff that goes on around a radio station, but it always comes back to, what are you doing this morning on the show? And how can you connect with people on an emotional level? Facts get in the way of a good story. Tell a good story. Tell a good story. Drop some breadcrumbs as you're telling the story, but tell a good story. Don't give it all away in the first 10 seconds, but don't meander so much that I'm going to bail out on you and go down the dial or grab my phone. So that's a tricky, this is the thing that we were talking about earlier, the science and the art of the whole thing. There is a little bit of a method to it, and you don't necessarily know it until you do it.
Yeah, it's almost trial and error.
It really is. And you're going to crash and burn, and you can't be afraid of that. You can't be afraid of trying, and you can't be afraid of screwing up, because you will. But hopefully you don't do it twice, because then you didn't learn. But hopefully you learn that first time when you make that whatever mistake it is that you make, and then you continue on and you go, okay, if I do this, we're going to go into the ditch and crash the car. So let's not do that. Keep the car on the road, or get it dangerously close to the guardrail, because that could be entertaining too. Some of our best stuff is train wrecks. Now, unintentional. Well, this did not go as I. Generally, we have a good feel for what to do and what not to do, but sometimes it's like, I'll be damned, that really worked out well. That was a hell of a lot funnier than I thought it would be.
Yeah, and also it's not being afraid to take a risk.
Yeah, you absolutely have to. I've said this a bazillion times to my kids, to a lot of people when we talk about radio and broadcasting in general, and I would include this as broadcasting. Ask the question, why not me? Why not me? Why can't I be successful? Why shouldn't I have the opportunity to hit that peak or that mountaintop, whatever it is that you're aiming for, and then pursue and ask. The worst thing somebody can say is no.
Yeah, that is true. That is absolutely true. And it's.
I told you that.
Yeah, I listen.
We've had conversations.
This is why
I'm a couple fireballs in. I get all fired up.
But this is why I say it, everybody. This is why he is an individual, a person that I wholeheartedly
You watch the day
respect.
after this comes out, I'm getting fired. I'm telling you, man.
I'll stand out with a picket sign and be like, I stand with Blaine.
My army of one.
Oh, you'd be surprised. You have more than one.
I appreciate that.
But it's being able to do those things, being able to not be afraid and to just, well, as Nike says, just do it.
Just try stuff. Try stuff.
Yeah, because that's how you grow.
Yeah, and you never. The amazing thing about it is like I said earlier, I mean, I've been doing radio for over 40 years. I've been doing mornings on DVD. I'm coming up on my 21st year. We will try something, and 5 years ago, I'd be like, that's not going to work. And it works.
Yeah, it works.
You don't know. And for us, I think part of the reason why it works is that chemistry that we have in the room between Lauren and Veronica and myself. I think it's when you have that, you've got a little piece of gold. And I was talking to somebody about this last week, and I said it's funny about chemistry in broadcasting and how your audience will forgive your lesser moments because of chemistry. But you still want to have less of the lesser moments. You still want to hit the home runs. But if you have good chemistry, and if you look at any of not just my show, Mojo, Dave and Chuck, all the shows that are successful in Detroit, they all have really good chemistry. And they all have their moments where they're up and down or whatever, as far as the performance of the show is concerned. But they're still, at the end of the day, very good. And anyone outside would kill to be in their shoes.
Oh, absolutely. And I also think, too, especially with you guys at the station, people can sense, too, I think, when you're being genuine and when you're not. And I think
yes.
I definitely, whenever I tune in or I listen to clips or what have you, like it just feels like you have a way of being able to make the listener feel included in your conversation.
Can I tell you a story?
Please do.
Okay. Also, can I swear?
Fuck yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm in Minneapolis. This is in the 90s. And I'm working at some rock station. And we get this new program director who was a research guru, blah, blah, blah. And he's a bit of a smarmy bastard. And I'm Gen X. Okay. So he says to me at some point, he's like, Gen X, they can sniff out BS. I'm like, no shit. Who do you think? Absolutely. I think being genuine on the air, being genuine in a podcast, genuine on TV, I think those things translate really well. And people know. They just do. It's intuitive.
Yeah. And yeah, when it feels too much like you're either trying
too hard. Yeah.
Either you're a try hard or
yep.
You're just there's just something not there, there's something off, then they know.
People can't put their finger on it. They'll just say, I don't know, something doesn't feel right. They won't even say that. They'll just think it, and then they hit the button, and then they're gone. So you got to, again, to the whole dance of science and art, you have to be, okay, are we doing too much of this kind of thing? Are we doing too much or not enough of that or whatever? So, yeah, people know when you're forcing something to happen as opposed to just letting it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know, especially, with, what you guys do in a much smaller scale than what I do here, it's, being able to find those moments and be able to highlight those and have people have a telescope and be able to look into that and go, oh, okay, yeah, that's cool. Like, and then being able to share and showcase that, and then that in turn gets them to want to listen to you more.
Let's hope.
Return listeners, right?
Let's hope. Yeah, keep coming back.
So let the future of broadcasting, because I know you got a tight schedule here today. Where do you see the future for not even just Blaine and Lauren in your show, but just broadcast and radio in general? Because we're living in a very interesting time right now where people are doing this, and the access, being able to have access to the equipment and tools to be able to be their own broadcaster. Where do you see, the future for broadcast and radio? What does that look like to you in the next 10 years?
I think you can't listen to a radio station for more than 10 minutes without hearing the phrase, download our app, it's free, right? I mean, if you're listening to us, you're hearing that. You're hearing that on iHeart. Odyssey stations are always plugging their app. The great thing about that is it allows the listener to get immediate gratification. You want to hear that thing this morning that we talked about, whatever it was, it's on the app. You can grab the podcast. If you missed our conversation on that, if you missed the $1,000 minute this morning, listen to download the app. It's free. Listen to all of our podcasts. So I think more of the industry is, embracing the digital side, the social media side of things. And the great thing is they're great companions. Even today, as people have more choices, they still listen to the radio. They still check it out almost daily for most people. Certain age groups more so than others, right? Younger age groups not so much, but 30 and up, 25 and up, you're checking out a radio station every day, and you can use social media to kind of re-engage or even further engage that listener. Okay,
so it's all on the app.
It's all on the app. Download it today in the App Store. It's totally free. No subscription required. I mean, that is pretty cool when you think about it. Like Spotify, you have to have a subscription, Pandora, whatever you use, or you can just get a radio station app and they'll give you a bazillion different choices. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I guess I never thought about it that way, because we're so used to being able to say, okay, you get Spotify for so many months, or you get Apple Music or Apple Podcasts. Now it's being able to get the app from the station. It's like, oh, I don't have to subscribe. I can just.
I want to ask you a question.
Oh, please do. I'm honored.
You mentioned the Apple monthly subscription.
Yes.
Do you use that?
Apple Music?
Yeah.
1,000% I do, yes.
You do?
I love...
Do you miss CDs or opening up the jacket?
Well, Blaine, I'm so glad you asked me this question, because... here we go, people!
Because I miss that.
Okay, well, here's... I'm about to rock your world here, because here's the thing. So, whether we know it or not, I've said this before, and I will say it time and time again. If you have a vinyl collection, start to sell it. Vinyls hit a peak. Prices are ridiculous.
Yeah.
$30, $35, even $40 for one album sealed is ridiculous. What you need to do is look online on Discogs.com and search your catalog number for the record that you have. I'll tell you what, you could be sitting on a gold mine, and you can make a little bit of a profit. And then not only that, but CDs right now, CDs are back. And
so are cassettes. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
People are buying cassettes.
Yes.
But it's the same thing, man. I want to read the lyrics.
Yeah.
What's he saying there?
Exactly.
Who played the dulcimer on that song? I want to know.
And so here's the beautiful thing. So let's merge and marry Apple and CDs. So did you know, Sir Blaine Fowler, that on Apple Music now what they've done with their entire catalog? So when you subscribe and when you become get your subscription to Apple Music, you have the option to listen to your music in pure lossless format. So what that is, I'm surprised you.
I am lost.
Okay, lossless is it's the same quality as if you were listening to a CD.
Okay.
So with MP3s,
So it's not MP3s?
No, because with MP3s,
Compress.
yes,
Yeah.
MP3s compress the living shit out of your music,
Yeah.
and that's why it saves space on your
Yep.
phone or your computer, but you're sacrificing the overall quality.
Sonics aren't as good.
Right.
Yep.
So, and I did this experiment, and I was able to have that aha moment, and you will appreciate this when I listened to Richie Sambora's "Stranger in This Town."
I remember that album.
Yes, phenomenal record CD, by the way. And I had it first as all MP3 files on my iPod, and
Nice.
then I got the CD, and then I just took the songs and I was able to put it on my iPod as WAV files. And so WAV is completely uncompressed file, so it's the same quality as the CD. Listen to it, and it was like I was listening to it again for the first time all over.
Okay, another question for you. Question for Walter now.
I'm so honored.
Do you consider, or do you prefer CD sound quality or album record?
Vinyl.
Yeah. Why? Why?
Oh no! I was saying CD
okay.
or. I used to be pro vinyl, like all the way, but here's the thing with vinyl. You have to maintain it. You
Yep.
gotta clean.
The more you use it, the more damage it becomes.
right, and
Q burn. That's a thing.
yeah, and just the maintenance and upkeep of it, like getting the right sleeves to keep the album in. I also have like plastic covers for the actual album sleeves itself. It's just a pain.
I like the old worn out album cover where it's a little frayed on the sides and all that stuff. But no, you're right. I agree.
And there is a certain aesthetic that comes with that too. You know, it's like like this has been it's been loved. It's
Right.
been
Yeah.
whoever had this prior, really enjoyed this.
But like they started mastering music differently when CDs came along, and they started mastering it differently when it became MP3s.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really affected how music is recorded. I mean, everything's digital now. Very few. Nobody's even doing analog to digital. I think the last big artist that I heard doing that was Foo Fighters, and that was probably like 8-10 years ago.
Yeah, it was Foo Fighters, and I think it was also Daft Punk with their Random Access Memories. Yeah, which both Daft Punk, Random Access Memories, and Foo Fighters Wasted Light, phenomenal.
Yeah.
Go check them out.
Agreed.
But right now, for me, CDs are winning it over because I'm getting something right off the bat that sounds just crisp.
Yeah.
It's mastered for this reason. And then the nice part of it too is, so now again merging Apple Music and your CDs. So I still have a external CD drive that I plug into my iMac, and whenever I get it, I just bought some new CDs the other day, and
You burn them off.
Yep, I put them.
Yep.
I put them on my
Yep.
Apple Music kit library as Apple uncompressed files.
Yeah.
And the Apple uncompressed files actually save space, so you get the best of both worlds. You don't get nearly as much space taken up from like a WAV file or the
Right.
old Apple uncompressed files. Now you get save space, and you also have still the same lossless quality.
Right.
And now my CDs can live a peaceful shelf life, or if I want to put them in
Go
my
for a walk or whatever. You got your-
Yep. Or if I want to put them in my 5-disc Technics CD changer and
Yes.
listen to it through my Advent speakers, then let's crank those bad boys
Party
up.
like it's
and
1997,
that's right,
baby.
You know, and it's like, and then once I'm done, hit power and
Yep.
let's put it back in the case, and you're done. And yeah, I started to even sell off like a bit of my vinyl because I just either I didn't listen to it or I bought it because it was vinyl, you know, because
Right.
really the time to really get into vinyl, people, was circa 2011 till about 2016, 17. So really before the pandemic. After the pandemic, I think that's just when it peaked, and you know, it just
That and banana bread.
yeah. So real quickly before I let you go here, how can people find the Blaine and Lauren show?
I gotta look it up.
You got
follow at 96.3 WDVD on Instagram, on Facebook. We're on Twitter, but honestly, who's on Twitter? I know, right? I think we're on TikTok. I don't even know. I don't touch TikTok. I have an account, but I don't really look at it. I'm 56 years old. No one wants to see a 56-year-old man on TikTok. Who knows? Maybe I'll do that. But yeah, follow. And then I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I'm on TikTok, but you're not going to see anything. It's either Blaine Fowler or Blaine D. Fowler, BLAINE, FOWLER.
Absolutely. And then last but what time does your amazing show run?
Walter, I'm so glad you asked. You can download the free 96.3 WDVD app for all your listening pleasure. We're on from 5 a.m. until 10. Trade secret, we're on tape from 5 to 6. Shh, don't tell anybody. But yeah, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 96.3 WDVD. And again, download the app. It's free.
Excellent. Oh, and then the last question, I have one final question.
Yeah, what?
When you're not being the boss that you are, running your show, being the on-air persona.
I don't run the show. It's like Lauren calls a lot of shots.
Okay. I mean, we love Lauren.
Yes.
Shout out to Lauren. You're amazing. You rock it.
And Veronica. Let's be honest. They run the show a hell of a lot more than I do.
Okay, so let me rephrase that. Then, when you're not being the badass on-air persona that you are,
sure.
For Blaine and Lauren, what does Blaine Fowler enjoy doing in his downtime? Do you have any hobbies or activities that you like to indulge in?
The aforementioned Blaine Fowler experience with Walter Hooper on guitar, Matthew Brown on drums, and yours truly on bass and sometimes keyboards. That's fun. Also, I work on my own music, as you know, in the basement studio. I got a drum set this year. Dude, I bought a double bass pedal.
Did you?
Yeah, I gave into the dark side.
Oh, yes. I love it.
I'm working on my double bass pattern, so I'm loving that. So there's that. And just hanging out with my wife and my kids whenever they're around.
That's awesome.
Pretty good life. I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
I got it good.
Yeah. No, you've...
Hashtag blessed.
Yes. Hashtag blessed. No, you've had a very, very full career, and you still have more to go.
Let's hope.
And I'm always inspired by you and what you've done. Like I said, the wisdom and the knowledge that he's instilled into me, and the great conversations, the chats that we've had.
Likewise, man.
It really means the world to me, and I appreciate you, and thank you for being here.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for doing this, taking the time out of your schedule to be here today, and that's going to do it for this installment of Marketing Minds Meets. If you haven't done so already, please, you can find us on YouTube, on the WA Hooper Marketing YouTube channel. And if you haven't done so already as well, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and that way you can get all things WA Hooper Marketing, Marketing Minds Meet. And we're also on Facebook and Instagram, WA Hooper Marketing. And follow us on there. Shoot us a DM. Say hey. And this, again, another installation of Marketing Minds Meet. And my esteemed guest, Blaine Fowler of the Blaine and Lauren Show from 96.3 WDVD. Thank you so much, everybody. And we will catch you on the next episode. Have a good one.